Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today I'm going to do loads of different jobs all around the Lego city, but I guess we better start with our wonderful new moon facade and getting it attached to our wall. Oh, my moon looks a bit sad like this, upside down, kind of like a tortoise with its feet waving in the air, beached on its shell. Yeah, all these coloured base plates will not be visible very soon once we've got this attached. So I better get on with that. And the method that I'm going to use is command strips, which I've used in the past for absolutely everything I've attached to a ceiling or a wall, and they've never let me down yet. Essentially, they're a sticky side here, a sticky side for the item itself, with Velcro in between the two. And although they might look flimsy, they really aren't. And the other great thing about them is they're completely removable without damaging your wall or even the paintwork, mysteriously. I don't quite understand it, but it works brilliantly, which means you can move it or just take it off if you change your mind much later on. And I think that's a lot better than even some of the bespoke parts you can get now from Lego with hooks incorporated into them for all the artwork things they do nowadays, because even then you'd need a screw or a nail or something like that to attach something to your wall. So this is the method I'm going to use. And when I started out, I was going to use these flat surfaces on the backs of the base plates to basically take the thickness of this in the recess. That was kind of part of the design, but when it actually comes to it, it seems that a pair of these connected back to back is slightly less proud than a plate. So if I stuck these on and took the backings off and held it against the wall, well, it really wouldn't stick at all. So I had to go back to the drawing board there. And what I'm going to use is these inverted tiles. So if I get two of these 2x4s, I have a 2x8 section that I can stick one of these to, and I've done that here, here, and here. So we're going to have 4 connection points of this larger size. And I weighed the moon without any of its other stuff attached, and it came to 2.2 kilograms, which is a surprising amount actually, isn't it? It's about 5 pounds if you're on imperial weights. And it will get more when I put all of this stuff back on. But the good news is that 4 of these in the large size should be rated for 7.2 kilograms, which means we've got about triple coverage, which should mean, well, it's absolutely fine. No problems whatsoever. So I'm leaving these to cure, and I'll do 4 more in the wall in the same pattern, leave them to cure, and then at the end of today's video, I'll stick one set of Velcro to the other, and, well, it should stay in place. So that is the plan, fingers crossed. Also, I've attached 2 of our very powerful rare earth magnets to the back of this base plate, and again we've got the removable tabs, so if you pull that it would just come off without doing any damage at all, and those are in the exact right position so we can magnetize our shuttle to the landing pad that is on the other side. And I've done those on a slightly less than 45-degree angle to make it look a little bit more natural. So yeah, those are sort of curing at the moment as well. So yeah, there is our first job, and I think it will be our last job today, and hopefully it will look rather wonderful. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the back wall. You can see I've already started sticking, go on focus camera, yeah, I've already started sticking the pads onto the wall as well, and it'll just be along from our space scene, but right middle front when you come into the Lego room. And another thing that I stuck on while I've got my ladder out is our little planet of Venus, and I thought rather than have it on its own where people might think, hang on, what on earth is that little round thing? Having it behind the kind of already existing space scene of all of these aliens and so on, and the ADU attacking them, or defending against them rather, I thought it was quite a good touch. And there seemed to be a space up there, and yeah, I really like it. I think that looks really good. Maybe I'll get another one for Mars or something like that. That'd be good. Could use Tatooine, couldn't I? Cool, so yeah, right, next job. Well, underneath Venus, it seems like quite a while since we've done any work on this area of the city, but I have been adding all the little parts that I've been getting on all of my brick hauls to areas like the raceway, where I've added the second advertising hoarding with more of those 1x2x5 bricks on their side, with the slightly less visually brilliant stickers than the ones we'll see a lot more along here. I've been adding the slope pieces so this edging gets longer and more complete each time. I've changed out the purple track, roller coaster track, from the Dunlop tyre bridge to black. Now I've got all 4 pieces, and that is looking much better, I think, actually. I do like it all black, looking much more like the tyre that it is. And I know a few of you don't like that white tyre that's part of the logo because you think it looks like an eyeball. I can't see it, but now I've pointed it out, I bet a few more of you can see it now and probably don't like it. But anyway, yeah, it is what it is. And then over here, I've added the final stickers to the seating area, so that's complete. More ramp in there, and I finished off the podium with a cup and different coloured sort of plating, so it stands out a bit more for the press area there as well. So this area is looking pretty complete, apart from this great big hole. So that is what I want to sort out next. And it's long been my idea that I will redo Old Market Square in this area. I kind of like it sort of at the crossroads with, you know, maybe this road's the one to Brick Derby and that one's the one to Brick Leicester or something like that. And underneath the castle, which will be restored soon, you'd have a very old market square where the market used to be, of course. So that should be restored here. And in the old city, we had this kind of trackway using these 16 by 16 plates, basically unbroken from this T-junction all the way through to Paradise Quay over here, with its sort of recessed area by one brick height. But we didn't have this great big raceway in the middle. So I think what I'm going to do is continue this with a step down there, have 2 or 3 sections, it's going to be 3, isn't it, before another step up back to normal street level here. So it'll be a slightly sunken area, just like it was before, and I'll be using these tan and dark tan tiles again to do sort of geometric pattern like we had before, but, you know, again condensed around these lovely statues on water features with all the gold frogs and so on and the gold wings. I think they look great. So yeah, we're going to incorporate some of the scenes from the Old Market Square as well. And yeah, it will be very packed and stacked, but that is the way we like it. So yeah, when the whole city is that dense, it won't look too overcrowded, you know, in isolation. And then the next level in the front, which we probably won't get to today, is, well, I'm going to do a great big build that's about that big, probably right up to the purple track, which is very much using that depth. It will be very recessed. Then we've got the strip of shops like we had before with the exotic pet store here and so on, that will go all the way along this edge, over the top of the subway station. And then we'll have one base plate, which I literally have no idea what to do with, which will be about here. So maybe that'll be a park. That'll be a good contrast to the, you know, heavily paved area of Old Market Square. Or, I don't know, maybe you can come up with an idea and put it in the comments section. I don't know. But yeah, because it will have the facility for some depth. So we could even include a subway station entrance into that area, though it is quite near to the actual 3D station, which will have an entrance about there. So anyway, we shall see. Lots to be going at, but I think what we should start off with is getting these plates in, base plates, so we can get that square back in the city. Hey, we're nearly at 38,000 subscribers, which I calculate as, yeah, about 38% of the way to our final target, but that is still nowhere near enough. So even if we have turned over the ticker on the thousands column, I still need your support to build up to the next turnover of 39, 40, and, well, beyond. So if you're enjoying the video so far and you want to see the outcome of it, then, well, why not smash that subscribe button and join me for the rest of the journey? All right, now that is quite complicated. Firstly, trying to cram so much into such a small area. I had much more room to play with before, it seems, with all the different tiling and different levels, and I've now got to get an extra set of steps in. But the main sort of tan area with that dark tan contrasting pattern is in and symmetrical, leaving a space for the 2 fountains, of course, one on either side. Last time I had 4 of these benches in, but I don't think I've got room for that now. I've only got room for 2, but, you know, part of me thinks I'll be able to get another 2 maybe on the other side of the roadway or something like that, so maybe that'll work. But yeah, I've got most of my favourite scenes in. I've got the original stud muffin here with his lovely tank top. We've got the old guy here on his mobility scooter, smiling away. Though it does dawn on me that he's heading towards some steps, because I've done steps on that side and a ramp on that side, so maybe I'll move him somewhere a bit more mobility friendly. We've got Cookie Dog and Dog Poo Lady, who I don't think will probably like me calling her that, but nonetheless. We've got the girls presented the big check, who are on TV. I really like that scene. The guy has found a coin, a roller skate girl and skateboard guy. Where can they be going? And the dog wanting a sausage from his owner. And we've got the bike shop, as we always had in here, but that's the interior, if you've forgotten that, with loads of helmets downstairs and the very aggressive, angry biker dwarf guy. Inside, we've got actual motocross bikes and bicycles and stuff on the next floor, and then the lovely sign on the roof, so it's all sort of modularized. And these things will go into those two holes, of course, so it'll be something like that. I'll push those down properly in a minute, because every time you do something with the steps, if these are anywhere near, you end up hitting and knocking off flags and all sorts. But yeah, how's that look? Pretty packed and stacked. But that is how we like it in this city. And sometimes when I do an area and complete it, it looks a bit overly busy. But then, you know, eventually all the other bits will be just as busy and it'll look completely seamless. So yeah, I kind of like that. That looks good. I'll get the rest of the shop on. And I was sort of playing with the idea of having the horse statue here, or maybe like that or something like that. But that might be a bit overly statuey. I don't know. Tell me what you think of that, actually. That doesn't look too bad. So that's good. And yeah, it's been a real fiddle doing all of this. I left a bit untiled just so you could see how I did it. Basically, we've got plate layer for the first step, another plate for the next step, and then another plate so we can seamlessly join across there. But then there's a little bit more underneath here where it's one plate lower, so it's got something nice to sit on. So essentially that edge is really strong all the way around and doesn't wobble, which is probably an improvement from last time when I don't think it really did. So yeah, we've got steps on one side, the ramp on the other, and I was trying to find the old kind of setup that I had in this strip here of 2x8, because I had these sort of bollards that were sort of to protect the pedestrians from cars coming in off the road in a misguided attempt to get somewhere else. And I just couldn't find the pieces in the sort of mound of stuff that I took out of the old city. And then it dawned on me finally with a massive groan. Oh, that's because I've done the same thing here. So I've already used them. That's why I couldn't find them. I spent ages trying to find that. So yeah, I'm going to have to probably replicate the stairs to go next to it and replicate those bollards to basically go here and here, because I've used the originals. But yeah, that shouldn't be too bad either. Yeah, I do quite like those benches there. What do you think of that? It is very statuey, but do you know what? I don't think I mind it. It looks quite good. It used to be on the bridge over here, but we're going to have a brand new bridge going across there, because it's pretty plain, the old one, in due course, and it's going to be very grand indeed. So yeah, this needs a new home, so maybe that's all right. I could take off some of the sort of hazard symbols for the traffic as well, because they wouldn't need that in a pedestrianised area. But yeah, let me know about that. Or maybe it will be the main feature of that extra base plate that I said earlier that's there. Maybe it's a park with that in the middle. Yeah, that could be a really good idea, actually. Cool. So yeah, I need to finish off the tiling here. Need to make new bollards and steps for here. Think more about that and rebuild this building, get it all stacked up. And then, well, I could probably tile this area as well. We'd have a really complete picture sort of up to about there. Oh, and this has all moved, this monorail, slightly as well. So I've had to do the sort of testing to see whether it'll pass here. So this whole building has actually moved one stud that way, which has been a real pain in the proverbial. So yeah, those window pieces on the left there are actually incorporated into that top step where they weren't before. We've still got the signs pointing in. So yeah, the sale is still on. But yeah, I think overall, I'm very happy with that, though I think it was slightly better with a bigger market square before. We do have all the key elements covered and going seamlessly into the racing scene as well. So I do like that. So yeah, I'll better finish this off. Okay, all tidied up and looking good. We've got the building back together. The tram can get past it. I've started on the pavement here and then realised that that's probably where a shop's going to go. So yeah, that'll probably need to come up again. But anyway, I did have the pieces for another stairway. Had to rummage around to get those curved slopes. But the tread plates in 6 long were easy enough. In fact, I've got another 3 for another set of steps somewhere else. I quite like the idea of this being in the middle of a park now. Got the other park benches and finished up the tiling along all this section. It's looking very neat, and around the corner and up to the stairs with that sort of darker grey line making some interest. And I've just added a few people that I had close to hand, but I realise, I've got loads of space for more scenes all along here and in here and around here and all the rest. So yeah, all along there, lots of little interactions to add. I'll probably be moving mine, a great big hot dog wagon, because it's kind of blocking the thoroughfare at the moment. Well, then again, it does look quite interesting there on the corner. Very dangerously put for somebody queuing to get a hot dog with the racing cars going by. And obviously I do need to tile underneath that. But otherwise, this section is pretty complete. Yeah, apart from this very front section here, that is going to be a really interesting project coming soon. I think I've almost got all of the parts for it. And then this side of the river, the only really big other thing left is the castle, which is on Castle Rock and has the 2 railway lines running underneath it, of course, and kind of acts as a huge facade as well. So I've got the original castle moved down here on its old green base plates, which is a bit odd because it suggested that the grass was growing in the caves underneath the castle that the train was going through. So I think I'll change that. But basically, it all needs a new orientation. So yeah, I'll have to explain that when I get to it. But yeah, that is the other big thing missing from this side of the river. And then, yeah, we'll almost have this entire section complete. Well, until you get all the mess on that end as well. Yeah, there's a lot to do, isn't there? But we are making progress. Okay, Castle is the next project, and I've had this on the building desk because, well, it was quite complicated. I had to basically rebuild all of Castle Rock, the dark grey section on the bottom, kind of from the bottom up, which when it's got a castle already on the top of it is an absolute nightmare, I can tell you. You basically, yeah, dismantling it from the bottom, but kind of remembering where everything was above in the first place. Anyway, this is what it's come off. This is its old base plates, green, as I said, which doesn't make any sense to grow grass deep in all of these tunnels. And in the old setup, we had only 4 studs next to the wall for facades, very thin indeed. 4 studs in between the tracks, and then a little bit more to have some of the buildings on. But now all of that has changed, that sort of geometry, so to speak. And we're now on, first of all, grey base plates, which makes a lot more sense. And we've got an extra half base plate in there, or, well, rather about 2/3 or 3/4 or something. Anyway, to give us 8 studs nearer the wall so we can have deeper facades like the ones we've got here with the construction of the school and so on. Then the track, which is 8. 8 in the middle as well. Then another 8, and then more space for all of those buildings still pushed up against Castle Rock. So that meant I had to basically, well, smuggle 8 extra studs, 4 in that pillar, that was relatively easy, 4 in that pillar, which was also relatively easy, but then the next section, not so good because it was all combined with all of the towers above and things like that. So I had to basically put 4 studs in there and 4 studs in there. And then we've got a new section of wall over here, which is just sort of joining all of the back wall to the front gatehouse, because this is going to have to line up with one Major Oak Hill and all the rest of it on the other side of the drawbridge. Then the front is the same. That's just basically moved forward this way, and I'm using some panels just to save on bricks. It was pretty much solid bricks before, and this sticker will be hidden. It's just a Harry Potter one. But I'm using a lot of the 1x6x5 panels just to liberate some of those bricks, so they'll be useful elsewhere. And we've got the dungeon and so on. And then on the other side, we've done the same thing. So essentially we've got the normal arches, but they're a little bit wider now. So the arches before had just an 8 gap for the track, but now we've got a 10 gap. So the bigger, lumpier cargo train can get through, and everything isn't just skimming, almost touching the bricks as they go past. So again, we've got that 8 gap in the middle, 8 gap near the wall, and that surface redone entirely from where it was before. And then we've had everything else rescaled on the inside of the castle as well. So before, it was a bit sort of long and narrow, this castle. It was a bit sort of cramped. And now we've got a bit more space. So it used to have on the inside a 16 by 16 plates and then 16 by 8 ones sort of lengthways. Well, now it's got two 16 by 16 plates, well, 6, I think, in a grid. And essentially that's given us 8 more depth on the inside, which just means it's a lot more spacious and roomy and a bit less odd shaped. So we can see our blacksmith inspired set from the 80s sort of over there. Same with our armory, my little sign there for the stable underneath the tall tower here. The old falcon, black falcon sort of fortress bit there with the yellow on, with the evil wizard in it. I think that looks great. So that's all still there. And then the Russ Tower, which was done with all the parts that Russ sent to me, and the original gatehouse as well. So I haven't used this opportunity to make it completely different and add loads more sort of castle-y goodness, but I think it's just much more well proportioned now. And looking at it at that angle, which is roughly the angle we're going to be looking at it when it's over there, I think it looks really tremendous, and we can start to see more of the sort of ground in between and more of those scenes. I mean, look at that. That looks perfect, doesn't it? So that is ideal. So yeah, not a whole load new, but a lot of new work in getting it supported from underneath. And then what I'm going to have to do is pretty much rip out this entire row of buildings that are going to be up against it, and some of the scenes on the plates, base plates below, and sort of stick it onto them, or maybe rip these base plates off here and put the wall onto them, whichever way around works. But yeah, these sort of rocks here are in between that building, and those rocks are in between that building and that building. So yeah, it's going to need some real lifting to make it work. And then, because somebody else sent in some more panel pieces recently, I've got enough of these sort of corner ones, which I don't need for Major Oak Hill, to make 2 more floors for the Russ Tower. So I might stick those into the middle of that structure to make it even taller as well, because as I see it, that is a facade, and it represents the keep on the inside of the castle, the sort of last redoubt of sort of the defenders to hide from attackers, and it goes off into the wall, you know, deeper and bigger. So they would not only have to battle through the old town and its walls, but then go up the wall defended fortress of the Major Oak Hill, then get across the drawbridge through the gatehouse and so on, and then they've still got the keep to get into as well. So it makes it incredibly well defended with multiple lines of defence. Right, so I think I need to get that in the Russ Tower, and then I need to somehow get all of that into there. And to make my life a little easier, this time I've done it with the track pieces aligning with the base plates perfectly at each end, here, and obviously here as well. So they should just be able to slide up and connect kind of perfectly with them. It's all ballasted already. So yeah, I've done everything I can to make it easy for myself, but somehow, yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy. Wish me luck again. Oh, and I tiled the final corner. You should be very proud of me. That's a lot of boring tiling today. Oh, that was difficult. Yeah, all the lumpy bits that were sticking out the front didn't want to go past anything, so I managed to rip off the lumpy bits, but I still needed to take off the blacksmith, so I'll put that back in a minute. But it is in, and we do have the sleepers joining the 2 sort of sections together, so it is firmly in place. We've got that sort of wall pushed down onto the base plates that are already there, because it was easier to do it that way around rather than move all of that tiling again. That would have probably destroyed me today. But you can see the train poking its nose through, proving that that is a continuous track. I haven't tried the other one, but I don't see how it can't be joined up if the first one is. So yeah, I do need to get that in position, and then we'll pretty much have this entire view here completely done. Yes, well, a tiny bit of a trace of that area not quite finished. And then we've got the extended Russ Tower. So yeah, the extra 2 sections in there. And there's 2 stories over there. So 3, 4, 5, the top bit and the very top bit, 6, 7. And that will look something like... Ooh, Push that down properly in a minute. It won't seem to line up. There we go. Something like that. That's suitably silly. I like that. Yeah, more is more. So from this angle, that looks absolutely great. Sort of in between what used to be the tall tower, that one. Now it's just a piddly little tower. And we've got the great big rust tower almost framing that space scene from one side. And well, it's almost as tall as the space tower. Well, the old one, we're going to be getting a new one, but that'll be about the same height. So yeah, I think that kind of works. Yes, so wow, that's going to look really good, isn't it? So I need to push that down, get that one in, and then I think we're done for today because I'm exhausted. That was really hot work doing that after doing everything else as well. But we have made a lot of progress. I think you'll agree. Hang on, Robin, I can hear you say as I test out my train. You can't end there. What happened to the moon? We started with the moon. You were going to mount it on the wall. What's going on? Well, yeah, I kind of forgot about that, didn't I? Well, anyway, first of all, there's the tower pushed down, and there is our tourist blacksmith with water wheel and tour office and all the rest of it in position, looking fantastic. But yes, you're right. I do need to show you the moon added to the wall. And I needed Mrs. Hood's help for this, just to pass it to me while I was up the ladder, taking off all the little sticky backs and all the rest of it. And this is what we've ended up with. Bum, bum, bum. It is a huge, huge grey mass of moon attached to the wall, as predicted. And yeah, wow, it's quite impressive, isn't it? It's huge, absolutely massive. Definitely the biggest facade I've ever done. I think we kind of need more things near it in order to give it some scale. But yeah, hopefully that shows you just how big it is. It's miles bigger than that castle, which is absolutely massive in itself. I haven't mounted any of the stuff to it yet because I don't really want to add to the weight. So probably what I'll do is take a break, do some editing maybe, and then come back to this when it's cured some more and is more robust, and then add all of the details on it. But it looks great from this sort of an angle, doesn't it? I'll have to do a really far away shot and see what it looks like coming into the Lego room. Hold on, I've got loads of train and bits and bobs to sort of step over and around because I've been building today, so there's bits of stuff absolutely everywhere. Wow, look at that. That is huge, isn't it? I mean, it does look like a sort of semicircle of a moon. I sort of think of it as the ceiling, acting like the walls of the Lego room as a guillotine to sort of cut that off. So the bit that we can see in this sort of section is just a segment of it. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I think it'll look a lot better when it's broken up by other things. I mean, when you see a spaceship on it, for example, you'll know that it is the moon. But yeah, it looks pretty good if you ask me. Don't know how it's showing up on camera. But yeah, it's just the scale of it that's surprising to me. Every time I sort of pick it up, I think, wow, that is absolutely massive. But yeah, all those craters. I'm glad I did some in a darker colour so you can see them further away. I must say that the old grey base plate with the, most 3D craters on it sort of almost blends into nothing when you step back. But you can definitely see it in real life closer up. So yeah, there is the moon on the wall. I think we've got one more take after this with all the stuff on in a couple of hours when I'm more happy with it taking some additional weight. But that is quite an impressive build. Very fun. And show me another. Houston, we do not have a problem. Oh, check this out. There is Project Old Grey complete on a wall. Safely, he says, attached. Better touch on wood in a minute. And with all of my space stuff on, including the cardboard adventures over here. Little sort of space drone thing there. This one mounted above the surface and kind of going over the side like it's on its way out. A couple of the rovers, one with its drone still attached, sort of digging away, taking samples. Spaceman, open cargo bay on the main shuttle, and another sort of drone on an aerial flying above the surface. So yeah, it all looks rather good, doesn't it? Flashes of orange, flashes of white, making it look a lot more spacey, a lot more moony, if you ask me, if that's a word. Yeah, I'm really happy with it now. And yeah, I mounted everything on using a combination of grey pieces and clear pieces where they're slightly off the ground. Not enough that you'd really see, apart from on the drones, I suppose. And I got the interesting angles on the ship, obviously because of the magnets, but on the other three things at an angle here, I used our trusty power of Pythagoras to, help with the attachment. Basically, 3 studs one way, 4 studs another way means you can have a diagonal of 5 studs, of course. So it just helps with those connection points to get them at an interesting perspective. But yeah, wow, how about that? That is a big project done quite quickly, but it was very long in the planning, very long in the making, and well, quite long in the attaching as well. But yeah, it looks absolutely great. So we've done quite a lot today, haven't we? A lot of it grey as well. We've got a great big grey moon, a rebased and sort of remodeled grey castle with tracks underneath, also on grey in there, so it's nice and dark. But also a market square that is largely grey, but with some interesting colour and scenes and space for some more. And then, yeah, red and white stripes all around here, I suppose, also done today. So, yeah, quite a lot done. Real progress in all different directions. But this has to be the crowning glory. I absolutely love it. I can't stop looking at it, and that's always a good sign when people come into the Lego room and say, wow, that is amazing, just like Mrs. Hood just did when I asked her to have a look at it. Yeah, I like that. I think the white and the orange really go well, actually, because they pop. They really show up against that grey backdrop. Classic Lego and those sort of micro builds could look good, but I'm not sure they would, because we'd be staring at the roof of them, of course, because we wouldn't be looking at the front views of anything unless you were really sort of down here, sort of peering up. Oh, wow, that's a good angle, isn't it? Check that out. I might make that the thumbnail. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah, you can see this from all over the place with loads of different perspectives. Let's get close to the wall here. Yeah, you see, it's really 3D then, isn't it? I like it. I like it a lot. Cool. So you'll have to tell me in the comments section if you think Project Old Grey was worth the wait, whether you think it's been a success, and whether there's anything you would do to improve it and make it look even better. But apart from making it a full circle, which a few people suggested last time, which I'm not doing, just because of the amount of time it took me to collect this much old grey in the first place. There's no way I can take it off now very conveniently either, unless it falls off, and believe me, I do not want that. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, but do tell me what you think. Oh yeah, I am so happy with that. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego builds like this. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be doing a brick haul on Wednesday on our sister channel, and then back here for another bit of city progress, or maybe another mock. Probably not something quite as amazingly different as this, but yeah, that is such a cool view. Right, so until all of that, see you! Yeah, hopefully my voice is a bit less croaky next week.